All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into this incredible story about a guy who literally challenges death every single day. But why? Well, the reason is all locked up in his past. A story about a love he just can't let go of.
So meet Major Samar Anand. He's an expert in bomb disposal for the Indian Army. And when I say expert, I mean, while everyone else is, rightly terrified, he just walks up to these live bombs with this calm that totally freaks out his colleagues. He's become a total legend because of it.
So you've got to ask, right? Why no protective suit? His whole philosophy is that it's the fear that'll get you, not the bomb. But that's not the real story. The real reason for all this recklessness, it's not a philosophy, it's a secret. And it's all tucked away inside a diary that, you won't believe this, starts its story in an icy lake.
Okay, so we meet this documentary filmmaker, Akira. She's gutsy, but she nearly drowns. And guess who saves her? Yep, Samar. He pulls her out, gives her his jacket to warm up, and then just disappears. But here's the thing. In his hurry, he leaves something behind in that jacket pocket. His diary.
And, being a filmmaker, her curiosity gets the better of her. She opens it. But what she finds inside, it's not the story of some stoic, hardened soldier. No way. She's pulled back in time 10 years earlier, to London, and she meets this completely different version of Samar. He's this happy-go-lucky musician, working odd jobs, full of romance, dreaming about a future he has no idea he's about to loot. So, back in London, Samar's world just smashes right into Mira's. Now, she's this wealthy girl, already engaged to some guy she does not love. And the first time Samar ever lays eyes on her, she's in a church, basically trying to cut a deal with God to get her out of this marriage.
Well, Mira sees him singing on the street, and she's just blown away. So she asks him for lessons. And they make this little deal. He'll teach her how to sing these passionate Hindi songs, and in return, she'll teach him proper English. It starts out as just a simple trade, But pretty quickly, it turns into something much, much more.
But here's the catch. Mira's got this shadow hanging over her. Her family's history. Her mom left her dad for another guy, and Mira is just terrified of doing the same thing. So she makes Samar promise her something. We can only be friends. That's it. And he agrees, but you can tell his heart isn't in it. You know how it is, though. Love doesn't really care about promises like that. Mira goes to see her mom, who she hasn't seen in years, and it's a turning point. She realizes she can't keep pretending. She's ready to embrace this, to be with Samar. But right at that perfect moment, disaster hits.
So Samar survives the accident, but when he wakes up in the hospital, Mira's just gone. See, in that moment of panic and grief, she went back to bargaining with God. She made this vow. She'd give Samar up, never see him again, if God would just let him live. And she keeps her word. She just vanishes from his life, a choice that completely shatters everything.
Can you even imagine? He's completely heartbroken. He's angry. He feels betrayed by Mira, betrayed by the God she made this deal with. So he leaves London, vowing to never come back. He joins the Indian Army with a new vow of his own. He's going to face death every single day and just wait for the day it finally takes him. And that brings us to the present, where for 10 years, death has lost every time.
And that's where the diary ends. So Akira is just floored, totally obsessed with this story. She finds Samar and somehow convinces this very reluctant guy to let her make a documentary about him and a squad. And the title she gives it, it's perfect. The Man Who Cannot Die.
So the film is a huge hit. But there's always a but, right? The TV channel wants him in London for the big premiere. London, the one place on earth he swore he would never set foot in again. He goes. He really doesn't want to, but he goes back to London. And in this just cruel, unbelievable twist of fate, history repeats itself. He pushes Akira out of the way of an oncoming car and gets hit himself. And what the doctors tell him next is just a bombshell. The diagnosis? Retrograde amnesia. It means he's lost the last 10 years of his life. Everything. He wakes up and in his mind it's 2002. He's right back at the moment of his first accident. He has no idea who Akira is, he doesn't remember the army, none of it. That entire decade of pain and defiance has just been wiped clean.
Akira is freaking out.
She doesn't know what to do. So she tracks down the one person who might be able to get through to him, Mira. And Mira agrees to help. She walks into his hospital room, and this amnesic Samar looks up at her and asks, "How long have we been married?" And in that one tiny moment, Mira has to make a choice. And she does. She tells him they're married.
So with the help of Akira and an old friend, Mira starts building this huge, elaborate lie. They create this whole fictional life for him. They pretend his friend's restaurant is theirs. His friend's house is their family home. She plays the part of his loving wife, all in the hope that living in this fake reality might just trigger his real memories to come back.
But the tragic irony here is just gut-wrenching. While Samar's living this happy, fake married life, Mira's been living a very real, very lonely truth. See, she never actually married that other guy. For 10 years, she's been completely alone, just punishing herself, still in love with Samar.
And you know what? For a little while, it actually works. Samar is happy. He's carefree. He's living the life he always dreamed of with the woman he loves. It's a beautiful lie. But an emergency out on the streets of London is about to blow this whole fragile world apart.
There's a bomb threat on a London train, and chaos is breaking out. And in the middle of it all, something just clicks inside Samar. It's like a switch flips. All that training, that whole decade of experience buried deep down in his subconscious, it all just comes rushing to the surface. He doesn't even think. He just takes charge and defuses the bomb.
And boom, just like that, in that rush of adrenaline, everything comes back. He remembers it all, and he turns on Mira. He is furious. Not just about the lie she's been telling him for weeks, but for the original vow, the one that stole 10 years of their lives. He tells her it's over. He's going back to India for good, leaving Mira completely shattered and Akira drowning in guilt. I mean, think about it. How do you even begin to reconcile those two people in your head? The happy, carefree guy you were just moments ago, and the angry, betrayed man your memories tell you you've been for a decade.
But this time is different. This time, Mira isn't just going to let him walk away. She follows him, all the way to Kashmir. She finds him right there, in the middle of his dangerous work, and she finally says what he's needed to hear for 10 years. I was wrong. My promise to God was a mistake. My life without you isn't a life at all.
And so, with Mira right there watching him, he goes to defuse one more bomb, his 108th. But everything has changed. He's not doing it to dare death. Not anymore. He's not driven by anger or that old heartbreak. This time, he's choosing to live. He's finally realizing that their love, it's just stronger than any promise, any accident, any lost time. And what he does next is just incredible. He takes a piece of the fuse wire from that bomb, the very thing that represented his dance with death, and he twists it into a ring. He proposes to Mira right then and there. The man who spent a decade defying death finally chooses life. And it just leaves you with this question, doesn't it? After all that pain, all the lies, all that lost time, can a love like that ever really be whole again? Or maybe it's the fight itself, the memory of everything they overcame, that makes it worth saving in the end.